Joining us right now for a deeper look at how the Fed will be looking at the new CPI data, former Fed Governor Frederic Mishkin. He's now a Columbia University professor and a CNBC contributor. I'm going to read you this. This is Jason Furman, who's just taken to Twitter, our old friend at Harvard. He says, overall, it's a mystery to me why anyone thinks the Fed might cut rates in June. The labor market data is screaming a cut isn't needed for one side of the mandate, and the price data is screaming that it could be dangerous for the other side of the mandate. Are you in agreement or disagreement with Mr. Furman?
Well, I wouldn't use this screaming so strong in that regard. But that clearly the Fed has made a commitment to keep inflation low and get it back to its 2% level. And I think that's absolutely the right thing for them to do. And the path was looking pretty good for a while because inflation was coming down. There was actually some progress on tightness in the labor market. It's not seen in the unemployment rate, but when you look at vacancies relative to unemployment, which is a measure that seems to work a lot better in recent years, they made a lot of progress. But the problem is now that the economy has been very strong, and basically the decline in inflation is stalling. Now, also, most of the decline in inflation was from the removal of the supply shocks and supply chain problems. But
so, Rick, though,
bottom line is still the Fed's got a lot of work to do.
Take us inside the Federal Reserve right now. I mean, I imagine they're having a party inside Mar-a-Lago right now. I want to know what's happening inside the Federal Reserve right now, beside a pity party, which is to say, what do they do when they see numbers like this?
Well, I think the answer is that they stay the course, that they basically have a moderately tight policy, which was very effective in helping bring inflation down. And also, very importantly, very effective in containing inflation expectations from rising, which is one of the reasons why outcomes have been so good. But the inflation numbers are stalling now, and the economy is strong. So the Fed just has to keep staying the course. I don't think they need to raise rates because I think that they're sufficiently tight in terms of the current policy stance. But they have to stay the course and indicate to the markets that that's their job.
But what does that mean? We've been on this idea that there's a three rates cuts going. We had somebody on, by the way, who said there was going to be a rate cut starting in June and it was going to happen every month for the rest of the year, which I now is completely disbelievable. If it wasn't disbelievable, what it was said.
A little bit nutty in the sense that that would mean that we basically have a depression or another financial crisis. But I don't think that's in the cards. But we still do have a very strong economy.
And so, therefore, you think now, in this calendar year, as we get into a presidential election come November, that the Fed is going to do what? We're also watching the markets, by the way, we should mention, fall off. What do we got? The Dow off over 400 points right now. You got Bitcoin, by the way, that's fallen to the extent that's a sort of a indicator of speculations coming down to about $67,917.
So, the bottom line here is that the economy's hit a point where, in fact, it's good news in some sense, but the Fed has to do its job. And in fact, the Fed has always said they would risk a recession in order to get inflation under control. And I think that's the right thing for them to do. They have to be tough. Unfortunately, the progress that was being made has seemed to stall. And sometimes you got to say tough noogies. That's just the way life sometimes is. I don't think this is unusual for the Fed to have to deal with these kind of issues. When I was there are always tough decisions to make. But I think the bottom line now is they're going to stay the course, and they're going to signal they're going to stay the course unless things start to get a lot better.